Hey friend, I've got so many new goodies to show you in today's video. Make-Up Geek so graciously sent me a whole package of a bunch of their stuff to try out, and I did this look with it, and I'm excited to give you my thoughts because I'm really impressed, and I'm gonna tell you why. So they sent me a bunch of their blushes and highlighters. Take a look at these guys. Look at that color range. I put them in two separate palettes because one, they all didn't fit in one palette, and two, I was debating if I should keep these for myself, but I think I'm actually gonna put them in my pro kit because the color range is really good. And this is what I was talking about when I was impressed. The blushes are kind of what did it for me because it's really hard to find good blushes from a brand. I've been pretty avid about using MAC blushes for a really long time, and I also use Makeup Forever eyeshadows as blushes because it's really hard to find blushes that are matte without shimmer in them or some kind of iridescent. And when I'm working on other clients, I want to be able to pick and choose where I put the shimmer, and so I usually like to go more for matte blushes because I love a good highlight. Speaking of highlighters, this one right here is what I'm wearing on my cheek. And when I first swatched it, I actually thought it was gonna be too dark for me. But clearly, as you see, not too dark, very, very glowy. It is a really beautiful shimmery, it's almost white, but it does have a little bit of a pink hue in it, which is perfect for the eye makeup that I'm wearing. This is another highlight. Here's another highlight. And then this is the last highlight. Now they do have more highlighters than the colors that they sent me, but I love these. The color range is really nice. It really is gonna match for darker skin. So that's why I know I'm gonna put this in my palette. I'm gonna put this in my pro kit. And what I wanna show you is the pigment on these blushes. Look at this. That is so rich in color. And like I said, it's really hard to find blushes that have this kind of pigmentation. This is why I'm impressed. This is why I'm really excited that they sent me colors. And the blush that I'm wearing right now is this pink one right here, which I'm gonna be honest, I might just use this pink and the highlight for myself and then keep the rest for my kit. What's really nice about these blushes is they're really inexpensive. I think they're only like $9.99, which if you were to compare that to the MAC blushes that I like, I think the MAC blushes are like 21 bucks. So for half the price, you're getting this huge square, which I'm gonna argue even has more product in it than the MAC blushes to begin with. So if you're looking for a blush that's reasonably priced and that has a good color range, as you can see, we've got pinks and peaches here, and then we have the nice dark crimson colors that I just showed you on my hand. Definitely check out Make-Up Geek. And I'm really excited to share that they also gave me an affiliate code so I can share a 15% discount with you. And I gotta say, I wasn't expecting to get into this to get free products from brands just so I can have affiliate codes. I'm here to teach. And what I love about Make-Up Geek and why I'm really happy that they're one of the first brands that I do have an affiliate code with is because Make-Up Geek is all about education. The Ona Marlena is one of the OG YouTubers, and she, started YouTube in probably 2008 when it first became a thing. And her shtick has always been teaching techniques. She talks to eye shape, she talks to color theory, speaks on all of it that's truly educational and not just what's trendy. So our values align perfectly. Also, another thing about the blushes, they do sell a compact that you can put it in. So if you don't have a pro palette like this, you can just get that, especially if you're not gonna buy as many as I have. When it comes to Make-Up Geek eyeshadows, they do sell all of these colors individually so you can create your own palettes. But they do have some palettes that do come together if you want someone to just tell you what colors to wear together. This palette specifically, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned, is called the Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette. It has 28 colors, and let me tell you, if you are just starting out and you're experimenting with eyeshadow and you want a good range of colors, this is a palette to get. And let me tell you why. You have an assortment of mattes and shimmers, which a lot of times some palettes will either be all matte or all shimmer, and that sucks. I want you to have variety in the textures of your eyeshadows because the variety is what's going to give you definition. You don't want to do a whole eye with shimmer, just like you don't want to do a whole eye with matte. You want to be more purposeful with your placement. And I got a video coming up next that's going to answer all of that for you in just a couple of days. What I like is that they have lots of nude warm tones, then they have nude cool tones. They have these beautiful pops of colors, and these pinks and purples are my favorite. That's why when I created this look, I knew that was the colors I was gonna go with. Besides the fact that those purples go really well with my hair. It's also some of my favorites to wear. And these blues down here are amazing. Let me swatch these two blues for you because I'm really excited to try them. This is more of a matte color. So you can see that pigmentation is still there. I can really blend it out nicely. It's a little chalky up here. So I do know that I'm probably gonna have to layer. So there I go. I just added a little bit more onto that swatch. And notice the same way that I just pressed it in the area where it's patchy, you can do the same thing on your eyes. Don't be afraid to just add more where needed instead of doing the whole entire way through. Now look at this metallic. As we know, the metallics are already amazing, but oh my gosh. This is like the most beautiful color if you're into mermaids or just blue. Blue, it's amazing. Oh, I'm gonna wear these two colors together. This will be great for the lid, and then this will be good for the crease if you wanna do a blue smoky eye. This palette truly gives you something for any occasion with all the mixes. I've never seen an eyeshadow palette that has such a dramatic change of warm and cool and then pops of color. It's amazing. Individually, I think their shadows are only like $7. This whole palette for all 28, I do believe is $132, but it's worth it. And you'll get 15% off if you are looking for a palette that is full of colors that you can use for just throwing it in your bag and going on vacation. Like, I feel like this is gonna be the palette that I'll grab all the time because of its diversity. Like if you go on vacation, you won't have to worry about that you forgot a color. You have blues to match, greens, oranges. I would like a yellow. That's what's missing. Yellow, maybe in hot pink. That's only because I like really bold colors. So maybe if you're like me, you're gonna need to bring this palette and the Fade Into You rainbow palette. When I did this eyeshadow look, it was my first time using these colors, and I gotta say, they blend beautifully. The base that I have on is just it's an e.l.f. concealer that I just use as an eyeshadow base, and then I layered the colors on top. I have this color on my eyelid, this in my crease as my transition color, this on my outer eyelid, that's that, metallic that we're obsessed with. And then I put a little bit of this purple right on the outer corner right here. They blend beautifully, they layer effortlessly. Like I said, I think this is why I need to get one for my pro kit because I will use this all the time. And it's really important to have different textures in your eyeshadow palettes. These have shimmers and it also has mattes. And when you're doing an eye makeup look, you wanna make sure that you're putting textures in the right places. And we're gonna talk more about that in the next video. Another thing I wanna comment on is if you are looking for eyeshadow palettes for your kit, this is really nice. This looks luxury without it being a luxury brand. It's very sturdy. It has a nice magnet where it opens up easily. You can leave this open for your clients to see. It'll be easy to replace colors if you run out. I know that a lot of people love to buy eyeshadow palettes that are already made, but I actually prefer to make my own palettes. And I like that when I run out of one of these colors, I can add a yellow into this palette. I think what I was most excited about was these pencils. I love eyeliner pencils because I'm a huge fan of the undersmoke, which the kids are calling reverse cat eye these days, which is what is going on right here. And for that, I used Midnight. Now, I do like colored eyeliners because that's a great place to add a pop of color when you're doing your makeup looks. And a lot of the eyeliners that I've been playing with recently are just not cutting it the way that I want. So I believe these are pretty new in the Makeup Geek world. They are called their full spectrum eyeliners. And I honestly don't know if they're waterproof, but I've only had this one on for maybe an hour so far. So far, it's holding up really nicely. I think this is a perfect blue. This metallic would probably look banging on top of it, so I should try that out. But what I did try the black one a couple of days ago, and this black is incredibly creamy. I put it on. You can smudge it very nicely. That's what I will say, even with this blue, when I put it on, I used a brush to extend the tail and it just glided effortlessly. So I'm gonna say that they're waterproof because once it dries, it doesn't go anywhere. And when I wore the black one, I probably had it on, probably at least 4 or 5 hours, and it stayed in place and it stayed black. And I'm always looking for a really good black eyeliner pencil. I've been using a lip liner from Melt for the longest time, and it's a little expensive. So I'm glad that I just found these and I was able to try them because they blend nicely. I think they're probably only like $10, if not less, because Makeup Geek is very reasonably priced. I think Makeup Geek is even in Target. I know that They were in Target at one point. I don't know if they still are there, but Make-Up Geek was the original brand that was high quality for low prices before ColourPop was a thing. Now ColourPop is hit or miss with their stuff, but so far the consistency amongst all the Make-Up Geek that I've tried this past week has been spot on. I am excited to give this pencil a whirl. This is a white liner, and if you guys know me, I love white. I love wearing white in the waterline. It's one of my go-tos. And they also have a nude one, which I'm gonna try as well. I have a nude one that I use in my kit all the time, but I've never had a nude one for myself. I always just tend to go to white. But I think with fall coming up, this nude is gonna go really well with all the peaches and oranges in the palette. I'm already dreaming of makeup looks. Speaking of fall, if you like goth things or have a little bit of a goth aesthetic and you like dark makeup that's unconventional, this eyeliner is called Plumeria, and I cannot wait to do a look with this. It is such a deep red, and oh my god, that's gonna look so good underneath my lower lash line. I'm really excited for this. I think I'm gonna do a look with this as the undersmoke and use the greens on the top of the eye. Oh, that'll be a forest fun adventure. I definitely think you should try the Make-Up Geek pencils. Let's see, they've been sitting here for a while now. Let's see if this is moving around. Look at that. Oh, I love it. I love pencils that stay. So I always knew that Make-Up Geek had eyeshadows and I knew that they had eyelashes, but I didn't know that they had mascara or an eyelash curler. I did try both of these today for the first time, and I just want to comment, I love that the eyelash curler comes with this little piece that keeps it together. This is gonna be really good for storage. It just makes it nice and tight without it popping up. So just a little tidbit. The mascara, I did try it. This is what I'm wearing. I'm gonna have you come a little closer so you can see. My first impression when I put it on was I liked the brush. It was giving me a lot of volume at once, but now after wearing it for a little bit, I don't love it, but I will probably assert that I don't love it because it's a brand new mascara. Have you ever noticed that you get a new mascara, and even if it's your absolute ride or die mascara, when you first put it on, a fresh tube, it never has the same kind of volume that it's gonna have in about a month. So I'm gonna try this a few more times. Make sure you're following me on Instagram because I'll give you a follow-up review on it. This is the Extension Effect Mascara. So I'm gonna wear it a little bit longer, try it a few more times, let it get a little drier, and see if it gives me a little bit more volume. But if you're someone who just wants a little bit of length and coating to your lashes, this is really nice. It doesn't feel hard or stiff on my lashes, and so far it has not transferred to underneath my eye. But like I said, I've only been wearing it for about an hour so far. I'm gonna leave my makeup on longer to give this a full test run and see how long it lasts. So like I said, make sure you follow me on Instagram because that's where I'll keep talking about stuff in my stories. If you like this eyeshadow look and you're wondering how to do it, well, make sure you're subscribed to my channel or come back later this week to see an in-depth, full step-by-step tutorial on how to achieve it. Even if you don't have the colors or this palette, you can use whatever colors you have. Just follow my steps while I talk about texture and placement. See you then.